You're right, guys, and welcome to another video. Today I'm out in the garden. I thought it's Sunday, it's a little bit windy, it's not quite sunny, but I thought I'd get out in the fresh air. We've had some news that I wanted to talk about. We've actually signed 3 players that I'm just over the moon about, seriously. So we've got Ryan Woods in, Jordan Graham and Chuks Aneke, and they all, I mean, I've probably butchered that name, but they all look like real quality additions to this side. For me, it just gives me the impression that something's a little bit different this season. So we're going to talk about the new players coming in and my hopes for Blues in the upcoming season. But before we get into it, I just want to give a big shout out to our sponsors over at Fansider. It's the world's first in-play fantasy football app, and I've been playing it all across the Euros. I know some of you have downloaded it. If you have, make sure you add me on there. But if you do want to give it a try, check it out. The link is down below in the description. It is a really good app. It's completely free to play. I even won a tenner myself on there. I got 4th place. The way it works is it's just like fantasy football, but each player has a 20-minute slot. You play it in play, and you can swipe them in and out as you please. And I actually am starting to get the hang of it. I'm starting to get pretty good at it. But if you do want to challenge me and think you can do better than me, make sure you add me on the app at Brummy Joe and give me a game. I'll be playing pretty much every game for the rest of the Euros. So if we get right into it, 3 signings in 3 days, and it's very early in the season. The thing that Blues have been doing, the past few seasons is we've left it quite late. And, you can imagine with tournaments going on and everything else, a lot of clubs do wait until the end, until the prices are a little bit lower and the demand isn't quite there for these players. But I think it says a lot about Lee Bowyer and about the project that we're building, that these players want to come to Blues. And so early on as well. He's obviously got, firstly, Ryan Woods, who absolute talent, great talent, amazing at Brentford. I think he's really going to fit into the squad. He lives and breathes what we do. He's had, I think, 18 months at Millwall. He's been really good for them. Yes, I think there probably was more expected of him at Stoke, but you could say that for a lot of players that were at Stoke at the time. But he's gone to Millwall under Rowett, which is going to be a very similar style of play to what Blues are playing at the minute. Which means to me, you're certain that he's going to be able to fit in and do the work. And I think last season, when we were bringing players in from abroad, you didn't always get that sense. You didn't know if they were going to fit in. Like San Jose, for example, very experienced player, but just couldn't quite cut it in the Championship. It was too fast for him. We know Ryan Woods has got the experience of the Championship. We know what he can do. And I think he's going to be a really key addition for Blues. So he's one that I'm really excited about. It's actually trying to shape up how that lineup's going to work now. And a player that I was talking about as well, we do need to increase our attacking ranks. But Chuks Aneke, I hadn't heard a lot about him. But first of all, he comes from Charlton. He's scored a lot of goals last season. Lee Bowyer obviously knows about him. He's cost us nothing as well. Again, all these players have cost us nothing, I'm pretty sure. Ryan Woods on a free, Graham on a free, Aneke on a free. That's 3 really good pieces of business where we haven't had to break the bank. And I think the frustrating thing is, like Lee Bowyer was saying himself, like he thought he'd have more money to play with or something, but he's getting on with it. He's not really bothered. It's not ideal. And the money that Karanka was given, I'm sure Bowyer would have done a much better job with. But there's a lot of good free agents out there, and especially with the type of football we're trying to play, there's no reason why we can't pick up a player like Aneke, and he absolutely smashes it in the Championship. I think it's really important that we give competition to Duke and Hogan, and he's an exciting player to have in the ranks. They don't have to cost millions and millions of pounds for a player to be exciting, and I think under Bowyer, I'm actually starting to think, you know what, we can actually progress. We can improve as a team. We've been staring down the barrel for season after season, it seems. Constantly in relegation battles, constantly feeling like this year's going to be the year we go down. And I think finally it can actually stop, and we can start looking up rather than down. Stop looking behind our shoulders and start looking forward and thinking, okay, we actually challenge now and actually become a team that people are afraid to play against, people that they know if they go to St Andrews or they play Birmingham, it's going to be a hard game, it's going to be a tough game to win. And I think we're building a squad that is very capable of that. And I think we've seen with the performances that Blues had at the end of the season, just what we can do without having to add too much to our squad. I'm quite happy about it, and I don't think there's going to be mad wholesale changes, but I think that's better for us. So yeah, we've talked about Woods. We've talked about Aneke, and now you've got Jordan Graham. He's one that's been linked with us for a long time. He seems like a good player, playing for Gillingham, scored a lot of goals at the left side of midfield. The question for me is he going to be a backup for Bella? Is he going to be involved somewhere? Is Bella going to go? I'm not sure, but I hope Bella is in Bowyer's plans. I've heard some rumours and people on Twitter saying that he doesn't know if he's going to be in his plans, and yeah, he wasn't involved a lot over the the last few games of the season when Bowyer came in. But we saw at times when we played a certain system, him and Sanchez fit in really well. Question for me is that good enough for Bella? Is he okay being a rotation player, a sporadic player? For me, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually wanted to leave, and maybe Jordan Graham is the player that comes in for that. But whatever's happening, I think I trust what Lee Bowyer's got to say, what he's got to do with this club. The only thing I'd say is that we have to give him time. And there's going to be time, like, basically the whole time that Lee Bowyer's been with us, it's been good, it's been positive. We've been down here, and he's brought us up a little bit. My worry is the bar's set now, and there's expectations from both fans and the owners. And listen, I think it's inevitable that there's going to be a bad spell comes about probably, at some point next season. And I think we just have to come together and get behind the manager, because we can't keep changing managers every single season. We're not going to get anywhere. We've seen that before. But there are changes, and not just in the sense of the manager, but at the top. You've got Craig Gardner, technical director, working with recruitment. Not just him. There's other people involved. Bowyer's involved, but Dong leaving. I think that's huge. I think it's absolutely huge. Bowyer's brought in his own people, and I think it's the start of a project now. And can we actually continue the project and see it to the end, rather than just something going wrong and everybody panicking and sacking the manager again? Yes, we had good hopes for what Karanka could bring to us, and we got let down. We got let down all season. The football weren't great. We expected more, and I think, yeah, it wasn't the right manager for the job. But Bowyer's shown what he can do at Blues. He gets the club. There's very few managers that actually get the club, and I think that's so important when you're a Birmingham City manager. We had it with Monk, we had it with Rowett, and Bowyer. He's just that type of manager. He's the type of manager that you can see managing Birmingham City. We've spent so long trying to change our identity that, I think we just have to look back and go, why? Why do we need to change our identity? We've had success in the past. Blues are Blues. We're always going to be Blues. We're working class. We're never going to be fancy, flicky about, Rabona football. We've tried many a player to try and bring in and add a little bit of spice, I would say. But it's not the one. It's about getting that team mentality, so much more important than any kind of exciting attacking football. And at the end of the day, if we win games, we win more games than we lose, we're going to be happy as a fan base, especially when we know that our manager understands us. Yes, I'm feeling very, very positive about the season coming up. We've already made 3 signings. 4 actually, if you count Riley McGree. The question looms over whether Halilovic is going to be a Blues player next season. And, I think if he is, great. If he isn't, it's probably for the right reasons. It means we don't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money, or maybe the budget's a little bit tighter and it's unfortunate. But I don't think it's the end of the world necessarily. So I hope everyone doesn't, get too upset about that. If it does happen, great. If it doesn't, let's move on. We've got a great team. We've got some exciting players coming in, and I can't wait to see Aneke as well. Chuks. I'm probably butchering that name, but listen, it's amazing. I'm very, very happy as a Blues fan. The fixtures have been announced. We're going to be back in stadiums. The feel-good factor is back, and I think, to be honest, we didn't miss a lot last season, did we, with Karanka? But now, it's time to be excited to be a Blues fan again. It really is. I think, yes, let's not expect miracles this season, but the aim is progression. And I think under Bowyer and the new regime, we're going to get there. So that's just a quick message from me. I'm excited for the season, as always. England are still in the Euros. Let's go and beat Germany, shall we, on Tuesday. Let's win the Euros and get in the playoffs and go up. Bit too ambitious? Maybe. Thank you for watching anyway. Make sure you do download Fansider. The link is down in the description. Add me on there after me show. And I'll see you in the next one. Keep on.